Hello YouTube, this is CabooseSayzWTF here, and here today I'm going to be showing you how to manually patch your Xbox 360 games to their latest title updates. Now, I'm only going to use a few games here for example. Now, before we get deeper into the video, you're probably already asking, what do you mean manually patch your game to latest title update? Or why would we do that? Or why do we need to do that? Well, the main reason why is if you plan to modify the game's executables, if you plan to modify the game's update files or anything like that, basically this just saves you the trouble and a few steps from having to actually modify the title update container and repackaging it and rehashing it, which can be a headache in and of itself, and more so if you are new to this kind of area. Some example use cases is sometimes people modify the game's executable to do infinite ammo, God mode, patching stuff into the executable to load, I don't know, DLLs or mod menus or, external, add-ons. It has a lot of uses, and I'm not going to go into very deep detail or cover how to do a lot of this stuff. I'm just going to be showing you how to manually patch the game to the latest title update. That way you do not have to have the actual physical title update container on your Xbox 360, and so you don't have to actually modify the title update container for use with the BadUpdate or JTAG/RGH. There's also not a whole lot of videos covering how to manually patch your games to latest title update, so I am just going to go over that today. For this example, again, I'm going to be using Halo 3 and a few other games. But the first thing you need to do is you're going to want to make sure you have your Xbox 360 game of choice in extract format. Now, an extract format means the game is where you can see all the game's files in a folder, as well as the xex, which is the game executable. Now, if you don't know how to extract your Xbox 360 games, whether you have it on disk or whether you have it as a .iso, or whether you have it as a GOD, Games on Demand container, I'm not going to go over all that on how to extract your games. Most of that is self-explanatory. However, there is a lot of YouTube tutorials on how to back up your Xbox 360 games, so I'm not going to cover that in this video. Please reference other videos on how to extract your games. I will give one example for .iso, and that's as far as it goes. But you can use things such as xex menu to extract your physical disk, or you can use things such as Aurora to manually extract your disk. Again, there are YouTube tutorials on how to do that and to back up your games. Now, come back to this video when you've already got your game in extract format. Now, assuming you do, we can continue. So, for this example, the one small example I'm going to use is Xbox Backup Creator. This is the only program I use to extract my Xbox 360 ISOs. But you can use any ISO Explorer program that supports Xbox 360 if you wish, but this is my favorite one of choice. So once I have this open, I'm going to go to Image Tools, Image Browser. You'll see this little window pop up, click File, Open Image File, and now you want to locate where you have your game ISOs. Again, I'm going to use Halo 3 as an example. So I'm just going to open it, and then once you see it is open, you're going to click this folder or this name here, click extract, and you want to extract it to a folder of your choice. Now, my choice is going to be on this backup drive or the spare drive I have. I'm just going to create a folder called Halo 3, click that folder, and click OK to extract the game. Now, I already have the game extracted, so we're going to go ahead and continue. Now, you can go ahead and close Xbox Backup Creator. You no longer need it. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go to that spare drive. I'm going to go to Halo 3. And on my desktop, I'm going to create a new folder and just call it Halo 3 all together. No spaces, no special characters, just all one word, Halo 3. Now, the folder you create, make sure it's all one word, no spaces are in the word, no special characters or anything like that, because we're about to use a tool called xexGUI. Now, xexGUI is a custom graphical user interface strictly for xex tools. You don't have to use this, but if you're new to this, I heavily recommend it because it is a user interface instead of strictly command line. Now, if you plan to use xex tools by itself, it is a command line based utility tool. And it can be hard for a lot of the beginners to understand arguments and CMD and how all that works. So once you got your game extracted, you want to go to xexp and you want to put it to the side. Now this Halo 3 folder we just created on our desktop, you want to go to where you extracted your game, find your default.xex, right click, click copy, go to the folder you just created on your desktop, open it, go inside of it, right click, click paste. Now you'll have default.xex here. Okay, now you want to go back to xexp. You want to go ahead and open xex tool GUI.exe. Here you'll get a pop-up saying GUI is ready for work. Just click OK. Now you can ignore most options here. What you want to focus on for now is the part where it says xex with this little cogwheel. You want to click that, and you want to go find your folder that you just put that default.xex in. Open that folder, and you'll see default.xex. Click open. Now you want to go up here to the top with this little cogwheel with the I. It'll say xex file info. Click it. You'll get you'll get two options: xex basic, xex extended. For here, I'm just going to click xex basic. Then you want to scroll up and then scroll down to where it says media ID. You want to pay attention to the last 4 bytes of the media ID. This is your direct media ID. Now you're going to want to go download the title update. Ways you can do this is through a website called xboxunity.net, which by the way is up and down pretty constantly, so it's not fully reliable. It also doesn't have every single game title update. It's actually missing a lot of title updates for a lot of games. So the only reliable way to get 360 title updates at the moment is honestly Xbox Live. So if you have a retail, not using bad exploit, if you have a retail that can go on Xbox Live, I heavily recommend you go on Xbox Live to download that title update. Now, if it's under 4 to 5 megabytes, it's going to be stored to your cache. If it's over that, 9 times out of 10 is stored directly in the storage menu. Now, later on in the video, I'll show you how to extract your title updates from your actual hard drive using Fat Explorer. Now, I can't remember if Fat Explorer needs you to buy the license key for the Xbox 360 hard drive portion. If it does, I do apologize. There are other tools you can use, but I'm going to use that tool for an example. But that'll be for later in the video. But first, just get your media ID and note it down. So I'm just going to create a text document here. Well, you don't have to create a text document. Just keep note of these last 4 these last 4 bytes here. So if you're going to download a title update, you can go to a website called xboxunity.net, assuming it is up and active. You want to search for the title ID of the game. For me, it's Halo 3 or Halo. You'll see Halo 3 here, and here you'll see updates 12. Click it, and then here you'll see updates for media ID, and all that. So ours is, or the one I'm using is 699E0227. So we're going to look for that. As you can see here, we have 699E0227, which matches here, 699E0227. I want to get the latest update. Now again, Xbox Unity it doesn't always have the latest update for all games. So just, be warned about that. I usually get the ones from Xbox Live directly on my actual retail, and then I put it on my computer through Fat Explorer, and I browse it and extract it that way. But this is the last update that was released for Halo 3, so this example is fine. We're going to click this little download button. You want to open wherever it is and drag it to your desktop or wherever you want. You're going to want a tool such as Horizon and or Velocity. I'm going to use Horizon, and I'll link that as well in the description. You want to open the title update in Horizon, click Content. You want to click Root. You want to click Extract All. You want to go to that folder you had created earlier called Halo 3 on your desktop and click OK. Alright, now let's just say you want to grab a title update from cache. So let's say you're on a retail, not bad update wise. Let's say you're on an actual retail with a hard drive and you're downloading a title update from Xbox Live. So you boot the game and you get prompted for a title update. Now this is how you grab the title update from a retail hard drive after it's downloaded, for use to be patching with bad exploit, or bad update exploit, or an RGH or a JTAG, or if you have an RGH or JTAG online using a stealth server, same rules apply. So I'm just going to go ahead and download this title update. Alright, the game has now been patched to the latest title update because it just downloaded it. So now I'm going to turn this Xbox 360 off and I'm going to go back to computer side. Alright, now that we're on computer side, I'm going to show you how to extract the title update from your actual hard drive, to at least get it from the cache side. If a title update was stored in cache, this is going to show you how to get it from your cache. I'm going to be using Fat Explorer for this. I can't remember if Xbox 360 hard drive exploration and extracting files, I can't remember if that's part of the paid version of this tool or if you can do it in the free version. If it's part of the paid version, I do apologize. You will have to source out another tool, but I only use Fat Explorer. Besides, it's decently cheap, and especially very good if you plan on extracting files from your 360 hard drives. It's good for 360 hard drive management. It was made by Eaton, so I do heavily recommend you buy a license, just if you plan on doing this long term. Again, there are other solutions and free tools for this, so feel free to find videos on those or to find those tools. I personally don't use them, so I will be of no use or help there with those programs. So if you do have Fat Explorer, and if you do have a license, or if you decide to buy a license, you want to go to Devices, and you do need to have a compatible SATA adapter or Xbox 360 hard drive cable. I personally recommend the actual OEM transfer cable. You can find those on eBay. I'll have a link in the description below for a search term, so you can find it on eBay. I recommend the last version they made, which supports both slim and fat 360s hard drives. However, you can use third party, but I can't guarantee compatibility if you do go third party and cheaper. So I do recommend a OEM transfer cable. So once you have your Xbox 360 hard drive connected, you go to Devices, your hard drive will show up here. It may ask you to install the driver if you've not installed it. If it does ask you, go ahead and install that driver. So you're just going to click that, click Load Device. Here, I'm not going to enable this, but if it lets you, you can click Enable. But for me, I'm just going to click Leave Disabled. So from here, we're going to go to Content Partition and click Mount Content Partition on X. Here, and this is a RGH drive. You can ignore that. I do use the Proto Stealth server on my RGH, so I'm just using this drive as an example. So you want to go to the folder called Cache, and in here, you basically want to find any file that says TU underscore. 9 times out of 10, title update files always have TU underscore. Now, if you want to try these other files, you are more than free to do so. But I only have the Halo 3 title update installed. So this will be the Halo 3 title update. But again, it could be any of these files, but 9 times out of 10, it has TU underscore and then a bunch of jibber jabber numbers and letters and fun stuff like that. You want to make a folder on your desktop called title updates if you have more than one. So I'm just going to name it title updates from cache, and I'm just going to drag and drop this into this title update folder. Once it is extracted, you can open up Horizon or a tool of your choice. Then you want to open up the title updates from cache folder. You want to drag this file into Horizon, and if it was the game you're looking for, it'll usually say Halo 3 or whatever game you're on. But this is my title update, so you can keep these title updates backed up. But we are just wanting the contents, so you want to click Root, Extract All, and you want to extract it to wherever you created your Halo 3 folder earlier, and just click OK. Alright, and that's how you get your title updates from your actual Xbox 360 hard drive if they are in cache. Now, if a title update is not stored into the cache, it'll actually be, in the physical hard drive, which if you have Horizon installed, you'll see it here underneath title updates. But I have no other title updates installed, so I won't have anything show up here. This was just an example on how to get title updates from cache. So we're going to go back to our Halo 3 folder on our desktop. Alright, so you see it'll have a default.xex, that's what we extracted from the game. Then you'll have a default.xexp, this is a xex patch file. And then I'm using Halo 3 because they have these weird patch files. So they are called DLL patches. So you want to go to where you extracted your game. And you want to get the .dlls from the game. You want to copy them, go back to your folder, paste. As you can see in the update, it had a waves, and there's also L360DLLP and Q10.dllp. So we're going to go to our extracted game and go to the waves folder, and we're going to copy these DLLs as well. And then you want to copy them here as well in the extracted folder. Now again, sorry, this might be hard to follow, but what you want to do now is all these DLLs, or DLL and DLLP. So if you have, like, for example, waveshell-xbox.dll, you want to rename that .dll to .xex. If you don't see the file extension, you can look up on YouTube or, the internet on how to enable file extensions, whether you're on Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11. You can enable your file extensions that way. Now, if it just says .dll, just be sure you name it to .xex. If it says .dllp, you want to rename it to .xexp. Okay. Now we're going to go to this waves folder and do the same thing here. That's a .dll, so we're going to name it to .xex. This is a .dllp, so we're going to name it to .xexp. Have another .dll, name it to .xex. Have another DLLP, we're going to name it to xexp. Okay. Alright, now once you have all your DLLs and DLLPs renamed to xex and xexp, you're going to go back to xextool.gui. You're going to go down here to xex, click the cogwheel, click default.xex, click open. Here you'll see xexp, click the cogwheel plus, locate default.xexp, click open, then xex save location, go click this little save icon, and for me, I just like to name it the normal name, then put the number 2 beside it, click save, then you want to click this little green arrow with the box, it'll say patch xex file with xexp, click that, and it'll output it. So now, I like to go back to where these files are, and you can back up your default.xex if you want. I'm not going to, but it is advised you do. So I'm going to delete default.xex and default.xexp. Just going to delete it. I'm going to rename default2 back to default. Right, now we're going to go back to xextool.gui. Click the little cogwheel beside xex. Click waveshell-xbox.xex, click open, go to xexp, click the cogwheel plus, go to waveshell-xbox.xexp, click open, then xex save location, go and name it the same name, but just put the 2 beside it. Click save, click the little box with the arrow again, and it'll patch it. Now, you're going to want to do this for all of those files until they are finished, and I'm just going to go ahead and do that really quick. Alright, once you've done that, you'll see, like xex, xexp, then 2.xex, xex, xexp.2xex. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these xex's and xexp files. I'll leave in the 2 there. Alright, now that you've deleted all those .xex and xexp files, which were the original ones, again, you could have backed those up. I would actually recommend it. But once you have that done, you then want to basically patch these executables to be compatible with Xbox360BadUpdate. Now, if you're on RGH or JTAG, you don't necessarily have to do this step, and personally, I'm going to just go to Grimdoomer's how-to here. Grimdoomer's how-to says to run these files, or this here, through XEX tools directly. I'm going to be the first one to tell you, I do not recommend running this command. I don't know if it's a bug in XEX tool or if the parameter just legitimately yeets everything, but this command line argument here removes all XEX limits. This includes it zeroing the media ID. I don't know why the guide here basically says to run this command. I think it's bugged, or maybe it just may be how XEX tool works. I'm not sure. But yeah, this will null out and delete your media ID and set it to all zeros. You don't want to do that. And there's actually a good bit of reasons why. If you remove your media ID, while technically DLCs and game saves should be fine, there could be rare cases once you null your media ID that game saves start, disappearing, or DLCs stop working, or it could just have a few issues. So I do not recommend using this. Now, as a last resort, if the program I'm about to show you does not work correctly, yes, run this command line argument, but otherwise do not use this here unless you absolutely have to. I will show it as an example only. So yeah, I'm going to copy the default 2.xex and I'm going to place it in the xex GUI folder. Just doing this as a test. Now, if you're on Windows 11, you can right click and click open in terminal. Now what I'd like to do is just drag and drop xextool.exe in here. And then we're just going to use these parameters here as suggested by Ingram's how-to. I'm going to paste them here. And since it's called default 2.xex, we're going to put default 2.xex and just run it. As you can see here, it says removed media ID. Yeah, so you don't want to do that, and I'll show you here where it is actually removed. We're going to click the XEX with the cogwheel. We're going to go to where that was here, and we're going to go to XEX basic. Yeah, as you can see, it's removed the media ID. Now, I would not do this unless the other patching program I'm about to show you, if it does not work correctly for your game's executable, you can do this. But I'm sorry, I do not recommend it. It should not be removing the media ID. But again, only do this if it's your last resort. Now, instead of using XEX tool command line interface or the XEX tool GUI for patching, at least for patching for compatibility with Xbox360BadUpdate. Again, if you're on RGH and JTAG, you don't have to follow this part. You can skip ahead in the video. This is purely for Xbox360BadUpdate. Now, I can't guarantee all games are going to be compatible with Xbox360BadUpdate currently, but things are progressing faster and faster. So next, you'll want to get a tool called Xbox360 Game Hack. You just want to run it. It'll say game directory path. You want to click browse. Now you want to go to where you have your executable files. And click Halo 3. Click OK. Now the only main thing you want to click here is click Make Retail. After that, you can just click Fix. It scanned 5 XEX files, and that is correct. Now, if it ever hangs up on scanning, 9 times out of 10, it means it just can't modify your executable for any number of reasons. So if that happens, you'll have to use the XEX tool version and run that command, or those command line arguments. Now, once you go back to the Halo 3 folder, you'll see it has .original files. You can delete these if you want, or you can back them up. Choice is yours. Now what you're going to do is rename these back to normal. Alright, and that's how you technically patch the game to the latest title update and make it compatible for Xbox 360 BadUpdate. Alright, these files have been patched to Title Update 3, which is the latest title update for Halo 3 that was released. So now, we're going to go back to where we have our game extracted. Here we're just going to copy all these files, click copy, go to our extracted folder, and click paste. Now again, back up the files if you think you're going to mess up, or if you think you've messed up. Just be sure you do that ahead of time, or if you have the backup of the ISO, that is fine too. But here it's going to ask me to replace all files. So 1, 2, 3 here, and there's 2 in here, 4, 5. That is correct. We're just going to click replace files. Now, if you're on RGH, JTAG, or Xbox 360 BadUpdate, you can go ahead and unplug your storage device that you have the game on and go connect that to your Xbox 360. Now, on Xbox 360 side, I am running the Xbox 360 BadUpdate. The first thing you want to do before you go try to boot the game, you want to make sure you don't have the physical title update still installed on the Xbox 360. So you can do that by going to Settings, System, Storage, and checking all of your storage devices. Now, Halo 3's title update is 9 times out of 10 usually in cache. So if you know for a fact you have the physical title update installed, you want to click Y and go down to clear system cache. Now, if you have other title updates that are in your system cache, it will delete those. So yeah, just giving you fair warning there. Alright, and since I'm on Xbox 360 BadUpdate, I'm going to go over to XEX menu 1.2. We're going to go down. We're going to go to our hard drive, go to Halo 3. If you click the left thumbstick pressed in, if you're using XEX menu, it'll jump you straight to the default.xex. We're just going to boot it. I'm going to select the hard drive. And now, as you can see, right there at the bottom of the main menu, you see that 1.2. That means the game title update has been applied. On normal Halo 3, if you don't have a title update installed, that 1.2 will not be there. That is the version number. So now the game's been successfully patched to the latest title update. Alright, now the previous video segments that you have seen, I have went over Halo 3 as an example game. I've went over how to extract the title update from your cache, if a title update was stored in cache from a retail Xbox 360 hard drive using Fat Explorer. I've went over how to download the title update from online through a website called xboxunity.net. Now, in the way future, there may be more websites that have title updates, or maybe other forums, threads, etc., etc. So just get the Xbox 360 game title updates however you can. Now, the Halo 3 example was a good example because it showed you how to patch XEX files, as well as showed you what the dllp files were and how to patch them. 9 times out of 10, DLLs that are shipped in games, and if a title update has a dllp file, 9 times out of 10, that DLL is actually an XEX, just masked as a DLL. So I used Halo 3 in that example because it showed you how to rename them and how to patch them with XEX tools, or XEX tool GUI, for example. Now I'm going to use Black Ops 1 as an example to patch to the latest title update, because Black Ops 1 only has one executable, only one XEX to patch, and it has a lot more games files that you have to throw into your game root. So assuming you already have your game in extract format, we can continue, but again, I'm going to show you the .iso extraction example. So we're going to go to Backup, Creator, Image Tools, Image Browser, File, Open Image File. Now you're just going to go to wherever your game is, your .iso if you have them in ISO format. So here I have Black Ops 1. It's going to open the ISO. Click the name of the ISO, right click, extract. And now we're just going to extract it to our hard drive or folder of our choice. For me, I have one called Black Ops 1. Just going to click OK. And we're just going to let this extract. Alright, so once you have your game in extract format with the XEX, you can close Xbox Image Browser, Or if you didn't have the ISO, you probably extracted the game through XEX menu or Aurora. Again, you can watch YouTube tutorial videos on how to use XEX menu or Aurora to rip your games from a physical disk. Me, I have most of my games already in ISO format from actually ripping them with a firmware flashed actual Xbox360 drive. I'm not going to go into details on how to flash a Xbox360 drive for ripping games or YouTube tutorials for that. Because if I included all that in this video would be an hour and a half, 2 hours long if I go over every single little detail. Anyways, game's extracted. So now we're going to go to our folder where we had extracted the game to. You're going to find a default.xex and default_mp.xex. You're going to right click and click copy. And then on your desktop, you want to create a folder of any name. For me, I'm just going to name it BO1 for Black Ops 1. Make sure there is no spaces or special characters in the folder name because XEX GUI has issues if the folder has spaces or special characters. Anyways, we're going to open up the BO1 folder. Once it's open, we're going to right click, paste. Okay. Now we're going to go to XEX GUI. And we're going to run xextoolgui.exe. It's going to say GUI is ready for work. Click OK. Just like before with the Halo 3 example, going to go down to XEX, click the cogwheel. Going to go to our desktop, go to the BO1 folder, open up default.xex. Go up here to this cogwheel with the I. It'll say XEX file info. You have two options: XEX basic, XEX extended. We're going to click XEX basic. We're going to scroll up till we see media ID. And you want to pay attention to the last four. Now again, you can get the title update from xboxunity.net or any other website of your choice, or you can download the update on an actual retail console that's not using Xbox360BadUpdate. You can download the update directly from Xbox Live. So I'm going to give you two examples here. For here, we're going to go to xboxunity.net, and we're going to just search Blackops. If you didn't see anything, we're going to search Call of Duty. And then we're going to look for Call of Duty Black Ops. Here you'll see updates 34. Click the updates here. Go back to xextoolgui and try to find your media ID. For me, it's 0A-EB2159, which is here. And it matches here as well. And just like I said before with Halo 3, be aware, xboxunity.net is not always 100% reliable. It's up and down all the time, as well as for the fact that it doesn't always have the latest title updates available. But this is update 11. This is the latest one on Xbox Unity, so we're just going to use it for an example and click download since it does match our media ID. Now you want to open that up to wherever it downloads to. And now you want to open up a tool such as Horizon. And you want to open up your title updates in Horizon. You want to go to Contents, click Root, click Extract All. You're going to go to that folder you just created on your desktop called BO1 and click OK. Once it's done extracting, it'll say extracted successfully. Now you can close Horizon for now, and well, not for now. That is how you download the title update from Xbox Unity. Now I'm going to show you how to get the actual title update off your hard drive if it's on Xbox 360. Thankfully, Black Ops 1 is a great example here because the Black Ops 1 title update does not get stored to cache. This gets stored on the physical drive, so you can actually move that title update to another drive, plug it into your computer, and use a tool such as Horizon to extract it. So now I'm going to go show you how that works. Alright, on Xbox 360 side, if you have the Black Ops 1 title update downloaded from Xbox Live, say on a retail, you can go to your storage, go to your main hard drive here, go to Games and Apps. You can scroll down till you see Black Ops 1. You'll see Black Ops 7. You'll see Call of Duty 7 Black Ops title update number 11. And then you want to click that and click Move, and you want to select a flash drive or external storage device and move it. And now you want to unplug it and plug that back into your computer. Alright, now that you're back on computer side, you want to go to Horizon. Your hard drive or USB storage device should show up at Horizon. Once it does, you want to click over here in Device Explorer, click your flash drive or hard drive, go down to title updates. Now again, this is for title updates that are not stored in cache. So if it worked correctly, you'll underneath the title updates tab, you'll see Call of Duty Black Ops title update number 11. Now you can just simply drag and drop this to a title updates folder or anywhere if you want to back it up and keep it safe for, you know, future or different consoles or anything like that, you can. But otherwise, you can click it, drag it straight into Horizon, click Contents, click Root, click Extract All. Then you want to extract that to the Black Ops 1 folder we had created earlier on our desktop, and it'll say Files extracted successfully, and click OK. Now you can close Horizon and everything, you no longer need it anymore. Now you want to open up XEX GUI if you have closed it before. Click OK. And you want to click down here, you want to click XEX, click the cogwheel, go to Black Ops 1 folder, click default.xex, click open. Here where it says xexp, click the cogwheel with the plus, click default.xexp, click open. Down here where it says xex save location, click the little save icon, and here I'll just do default and rename it to default2, click save. Click this little box with the arrow and it'll patch it. Then you want to go back here to the xex with the cogwheel, click default_mp.xex, click open. Here underneath xexp, cogwheel plus, click default_mp.xexp, click open. Then xex save location, name it the same thing to default_mp2.xex and click save. Then you want to click the box with the arrow again and it'll also patch it. Alright, after that we're going to go to this Black Ops 1 folder here, and I'm just going to delete default.xex and default xexp. Then I'm going to delete default mpxex and default mpxexp. Alright, and now if you're using Xbox360 BadUpdate, you want to go ahead and patch those files to be compatible with that. Otherwise, you might get a game undisk unreadable error, or it might kick you back to dash. So again, just like the Halo 3 example, I would not recommend using XCX tools. However, I will go ahead and run it through XCX tools as an example. So we're going to go to our Black Ops 1 folder. I'm going to use default2.xex as an example. I'm going to go to XEX GUI, paste it in here. If you're on Windows 11 or anything that has a terminal, you can right click, click open in terminal. I'm going to drag xextool.exe in here. Then just like before with the Halo 3 example, we're just going to run this command line argument from Grimdimmer's how-to guide. And I'm going to type default2.xex, run it through. And as you can see, you don't want to do this because it removes your media ID. Now, I would not recommend using this command line argument because it does remove this media ID limit check, which, like I explained for Halo 3, it can, in some rare occasions, it can cause it to where your game save stops showing up, or certain DLC stops acting weird, not loading correctly. Ideally, that shouldn't happen. But there is a chance. I've had it happen to me in the past, just from removing the media ID limit check, which is kind of dumb. Could have been a fluke, but regardless, you don't want to remove the media ID limit. But for an example, I'm going to open up XEX Tool GUI, go to XEX. We're going to go to the XEX GUI folder, open that default2.xex. We're going to do a check on XEX Basic. And as you can see, media ID is null, and that is not what we want. So instead, we are going to use X360 Game Hack, or Xbox360 Game Hack. Right here, it'll say game directory path. We're going to browse to our Black Ops 1 folder we had created earlier. Click OK. And the only thing you really want to click here is click Make Retail and click Fix. Here, it'll scan and say checking, and it'll say it patched 2 XEX files. That is correct. Now, if at any time Xbox360 Game Hack just gets stuck on scanning, you can try rebooting your PC or rebooting the program. If that doesn't work, you will have to resort to using an XEX tool with the command line arguments that Grimdimmer has put in his how-to guide as a last resort, and it should only be used as a last resort. So now we're going to go back to our Black Ops 1 folder. You'll see here you'll have like default mp2.xex orig and default2.xex orig. I'm just going to delete these, but you can keep them if you want. Now we're just going to rename these back to how they normally were. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of files here, but all we did was patch these two. So these are the only two that really need patched. Now, of course, for other mods and other more in-depth mods, of course, reverse engineering and stuff wise, you'll have to do a lot of, patching through other means. But to patch the game to latest title update without having to rely on the actual title update container, we just patched these two xex files. Now, these other files are patches, but we don't have to do anything with them. All we have to do is simply highlight all of them, right click, click copy, go to the folder we had extracted the full game. I have the game on a portable drive, so you're going to go there, right click, and just click paste in the main root directory. If it asks you to replace anything, yes. Now you can eject that hard drive or storage device, plug it into your Xbox 360 on an RGH JTAG, or if you're using BadUpdate, you can use XEX menu or Aurora, go boot the game, and you'll now be on the latest title update for Black Ops 1. Alright, so now once you're on the Xbox 360 side, you don't necessarily have to do this, but I'm going to do this as a precaution safe measure. I just patched Black Ops 1 to the latest title update manually, so the game is fully updated to its latest title update, like directly from the game's files itself in extracted format. However, I'm going to go over to my settings tab and go down to system, go down to storage. If you have the Black Ops 1 title update still on your hard drive anywhere, you might want to remove it, and that's just in case if you boot the game. Like if you boot the game, if you still have the title update installed, like the actual physical title update, there is a chance if you made any changes to your executables, any of the files that were in the update that you manually patched, there is a chance they may not load, and instead it may actually load the title update, or you might get an issue where it says, for some weird reason, a version mismatch or a disk unreadable error. That'll be due to it trying to read the title update from the actual physical title update file. So just as a precaution, we're just going to go ahead and go delete that. So I'm going to go to Games and Apps, Black Ops 1, and we're going to delete Call of Duty Black Ops Title Update 11. I'm going to check every hard drive here to make sure I don't have that update across other storage devices. And I do not. So now, since I'm using Xbox360 BadUpdate for this test and example, I'm going to go to XEX menu. We're going to go to our games folder, Black Ops 1. Going to launch default.xex. Alright, the game has booted. That is what we want to see. Alright, now just to quickly verify that we did successfully patch the game to the latest update, I'm just going to go to Zombies. I'm going to go to Solo. I do have DLC installed, so if the DLC was installed, it should show up correctly under Solo, and it does. So I do have the DLC installed. This does prove that we are on latest title update. Now, if you're not on latest title update, some of these DLCs might actually not show up, or they'll show up with checkerboards with like test names and stuff of that nature. But we are on latest title update, so that is good. Alright guys, and that's basically it. Sorry the video was so long. I just tried to cover all ground. So in the video, I have showed you two example games. Halo 3, which comes with XEX files, as well as XEXP files, as well as DLLs, and as well as dllp files in the game updates. So I had to show you how to manually patch the XEX to XEXP, or the XEXP to the XEX, and I had to show you how to patch the dllp to the DLLs in Halo 3 to make that game be on its latest update. Also showed you Black Ops 1 as an example because I was showing you how to get the title update from Xbox Live and how to extract it from your hard drive. Back to Halo 3, I showed you how to extract its title update if you downloaded it from Xbox Live, and how to extract it from your cache, from the cache to the hard drive. So yeah, that's basically how you patch your games to the latest title update, manually, instead of relying on the actual title update container itself. It's good if you want to reverse engineer the game, research the game, mod the game, or if you want to put your game on a very specific title update to use mod menus. A good example is Modern Warfare 2 TU6. It allows you to use modified patch files and stuff of that nature to use mod menus. So I do apologize that the video is so long. I tried to cover all grounds. While this video was mostly directed to be used compatible with the new exploit BadUpdate, this can go for everything. RGH, JTAG, if you want to structure your game and use it on Xenia. It helps with stuff like that as well. So hey guys, I hope you guys enjoy. So comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.